So, how do you feel? You're hungry now, right now, huh?
A little bit. I'm not too hungry. I'm just a little bit. I was thirsty, so I got me started loving a drink. So that's good. Somebody help me out. Give me a couple bucks.
So I know it's hard. I've been in a situation where, like, you scout your next meal. You know that Bob Dylan song? You have to scout your next meal. We don't know what you're gonna get. And it's humiliating to have to ask people.
It's empowering to actually voice yourself. Some people would just like look at you and like pass you by or just say no or put their hand up. You know.
Regarded as less than human.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know.
But I don't let that bother me. The worst parts, the worst things that have happened to me on these streets were even worse than that. I've been held a gun to my head and had to do sexual favors for a couple of men, and they weren't fun. And I did exactly what I was told, you know. And it didn't really scar me because thankfully when I got tested, I don't have anything. I don't have HIV or anything, and I have my dignity just stays with me, you know.
So, have you had when you have like when you okay, so like you need to protect yourself and you can't because cards are stacked again. I'm in that situation myself. Okay, so we were just in court. Someone's body, the same motivates me. They're all lies, you know, and they have money to spend on lawyer. The lawyer takes takes their side. This whole system is based on who has money to pay lawyer, and they commit crimes using the law. And anything we do is a crime, you know. They exploit you with the law, right? And anything other people that do is they're criminals. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to say, I've managed to stay out of jail for over a year and a half now, and before I was going in and out of jail for like minor things like for vandalism, for petty theft, and for dining and dashing. One time I had a charge that I had to take to trial, and I won after a year. But I could have gone to prison for 7 years and had 2 strikes. But thankfully I took it to trial, and I had a really good public defender. And I'd gone to a house. I was running away from somebody. Gone to a house. This person was after me. He had socked me in the face underneath the underpass when I had gone inside his tent because I was trying to look for clothing. I didn't have any clean clothes and nobody was in there. And then he caught me in there, and then he chased me down the street and beat me up, and then I ran away from him. I walked into this one house. The gate was open, the front door was open, and there was these stairs. I walked upstairs, went to the bathroom, fixed myself up, changed myself, give myself a little haircut, took some clothes, and I was in there for like 2 hours, and they called the police, and I didn't know they called the police, because they just, when I walked out, these 2 guys were there, and they said, what were you doing? What were you doing? Why are you in our house? Why are you in our bathroom, locking yourself in there? And I explained to them what happened. Anyway, the charge was burglary in the first degree, but thankfully burglary. And the judge, thankfully, after the trial, dropped it down to a second degree burglary, which I could. One of them is a violent one, and the other one's not. And the reason.
First degree is violent. Second.
Yeah. But that's it. Could be construed as violent, like it's understood as violent. Any thing with somebody breaking in, but I didn't break in. I think it was unlocked. And so they looked at the evidence. They saw that all I stole was clothes, and they saw. I explained that I didn't know. I wasn't trying to invade anybody. I didn't take anything but a few items of clothing. I wasn't violent, so they dropped it to a second degree burglary, and I could have done 7 years in prison and gotten 2 strikes, but they let me go without anything. After a year, they released me without a tail. I had no probation or anything. No, I know. I never went to prison, but I could have. But so when I fought it for a year, this is about 4 years ago.
Look, out of desperation, you end up doing things that would cause you to end up lying.
Sometimes,
Mistake you're in right
but
now.
right now I'm keeping myself, pretty on the straight and narrow. I'm not bothering anybody. I don't go into people's houses. I don't go into stores or steal. I haven't stolen in over a year. The last charge that I had was a petty theft here at the Big Five.
So what's petty theft?
Petty theft is anything under $1,000. But I stole a couple $100. Yeah, it's petty theft. Anything over $1,000 is grand theft, and it can be also called larceny. Yeah, that's larceny.
So what's the difference between larceny and petty theft?
Larceny is in the two goes over $1,000, and it's in let's say you go to Best Buy and steal like $2,000 worth of merchandise. That's larceny. And it's the same thing as a grand theft.
Do you have sponsors?
No, I don't have a sponsor, and
Don't
as a matter
you
of
want
fact,
to address that?
I'd rather be inside the church and sit there every Sunday and listen to the Word of God and
So I
have Bible
know
study.
the
I go to
things
AA.
that specifically for people like us addicts.
Well, I would also go into a Methodist church. The Methodist church
Where is
down.
that?
It's on Tyrone, near the police station. It's across from the police station. It's on Tyrone and Sylvan or something. Sylvan, I think. Tyrone and Sylvan. Here's Van Nuys. Sylvan is a little bit is that way. So it's over there at Tyrone. The Methodist church. It's on Sunday at 9, I think. Sundays at 9.
Support group or anything?
No, they don't have a support group, but I'd rather not go to an AA because all I ever hear is the stuff that is negative.
What is it you don't like there?
The negativity of people share negatively sometimes. They cuss a lot. They talk about how it's a full share of 5 minutes of
I
using.
myself have support group, making support group because I get kicked out of prayer group support group.
Oh, okay. Well, where does that mean?
We can meet anywhere you want.
Well, can we meet inside a place like this right here in
Yeah.
a setting like this?
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that. And how many
Yeah.
people go there? Or is it just
So
one-on-one?
it can be just one-on-one until you find somebody else.
Okay, well that would be cool.
But we can do this as support.
What days are good for you?
Whenever you want. Whenever you want. So we
How
can do
about
one right now.
Okay,
And then I can go before it now. So